do, 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 do.
It's our main man, Cranky Kong, in his younger years.
Before he turned to a life of crime. Wait, hold
Before he turned to a life of crank.
on. Oh, goodness.
Alright,
Tasty
so
time.
we can play Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr.
Donkey Bong.
Let's just play regular Donkey Kong. Do, 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 do. Alright, I just forewarning, I suck at this game. Always have.
I don't know of anyone that's actually good at these classic Nintendo.
Well, apparently
games.
even Billy Mitchell is not very good. Relatively speaking.
I was gonna say, like, I think for like, I definitely think Nintendo developers at the time were looking to get their money's worth to ensure that there was like a degree of difficulty to ensure that they can squeeze out a handful of nickels out of whoever's playing this game at an arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that.
It's also interesting because this game came out on other systems before it came out on the NES. There was an Atari version, I believe. There was a few like home console versions or home computer versions of the game before like Nintendo unveiled their own console, and that's when
Right.
that's why. Ah, damn. That's why with Nintendo's like extremely zealous emphasis, like their zealous emphasis on exclusivity. I sometimes wonder why they feel a need to do that, simply because, like, are you really gonna lose money if you put Super Mario RPG or something like that on Steam?
Right. The thing is, like,
Or on Xbox Game Pass.
Right. And the thing is, a lot of these like console manufacturers, like, I think there was a discussion that I was kind of privy to on a new social media platform called Clubhouse. It's like an all audio version of like Facebook or Twitter or what have you. They were talking about how companies like Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, they actually lose money on every console sale.
Oh,
it's the games and it's the games and the licensing and the merch that they make their bread and butter off of.
Right. IGN just posted. It's funny you mentioned that. I was looking at my Twitter like just a few minutes ago, and IGN, or I think it was IGN, they posted a thing. You know, their typical like clickbait headline thing, where it's just like, well, I'm just gonna go to the Twitter comments and see what everyone's saying that the article says, so I don't have to click on your shit and read it. But they were saying that Xbox. Oh crap! That always happens. They were saying it was like Xbox has never made a profit on any of their consoles. And then and the fine print is, but they make lots of money on their services and software.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where a lot of companies like Sony and Microsoft,
They're all like
and
that.
Nintendo, subscription based services and content, downloadable expansions and content, they probably break even or even lose money on their console sales.
If anything,
There's no reason why they can't license out a game out like you said, like having Donkey Kong on like the Game Pass or anything.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I'm pretty sure the big money maker for Xbox has always been Xbox Live, or the what's now called the Xbox Network.
Right. It's sort of like Costco. Costco's rotisserie chickens are their loss leaders. They lose like
That's a very good comparison.
30. Yeah, they Costco loses $30 to $40 million a year on their chickens.
Damn.
That they sell for $5 a pop. But because they put those chickens in the back of the store, you got to walk through everything else, and you're paying that yearly subscription to Costco, and you're buying 101 other miscellaneous items when you're on the way to the back of the store to grab that damn chicken. it's the same thing with like Microsoft and Nintendo. You know, they're losing money or breaking even on their console sales, but you know where they actually rake in the dough is DLC expansions, subscription-based services like the Game Pass or Xbox Live or PlayStation Now. I don't know if Nintendo has a subscription-based game service, but if they don't,
Nintendo Switch Online,
Nintendo Switch Online, yeah, and I'm sure
where you
that's
pay, where you pay $20 a year for peer-to-peer connection.
peer-to-peer connection. Wow, gosh.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to think you were cool.
It's horrible. I hate it. And originally they were trying to sweeten the deal by having the NES and Super Nintendo Online apps that you could only get with the service, where at first they were updating it regularly with new games, with new like Nintendo and Super Nintendo games that had new online net play like enabled. So that was pretty cool. Like you can play Donkey Kong Country 1 through 3 with a friend online on your Nintendo Switch. That's neat. But they've stopped updating those apps for quite a while now. You rarely ever get any new games, and that's because Nintendo's not paying the licensing fees to their bigger third parties, because Konami's going to be like, hey, why should we let you put Castlevania 4 for free on your app when we can just sell the Castlevania collection? If you gotta pay us a little extra of that dosh if you want us to agree to this. And Nintendo's like, no, we don't have to, because if these little pissants want to play Splatoon 2 at all, or if they want to play Smash Brothers at all, they're gonna have to pay us anyway.
Right. Well, we'll shake them by their ankles if they want to play with the Squid Kids. I think the only time I ever bought, because I've always been a PC player, and whenever I did play consoles, it was on my PS2, and I never actually did any kind of like online play with the PS2. I was very much content playing, peer-to-peer, like LAN party style games, like with the little adapters for 2 to 4 player games. But when I got my GameCube, I remember, I don't recall if it was a subscription-based service or not. I just remember having bought a GameCube and getting this connector for it to play Phantasy Star Online on the GameCube. I remember thinking to myself, like, boy, I can't even imagine having to pay a subscription fee to be able to play my games online or peer-to-peer. Because I don't think with the GameCube, all you had to do was buy like a little connector that hooked into the bottom. But yeah. I never really got the whole like Xbox Live and like XSwap subscription and like PlayStation Now. And that's just coming from me purely being a, someone who plays on their PC, religiously. It's okay.
I'm gonna get this monkey.
You're gonna get that goddamn monkey.
Yeah, I don't. Did you play Phantasy Star? Hold on. Have you played Phantasy Star on the PC? It's on the PC. It should be through the Microsoft Store at least. I'm not sure about Steam.
I know that Phantasy Star Online has private servers still, but I have not played the new Phantasy Star Online 2. I know that they do have online servers for that still, because it released in 2020 here in the US finally. Like it came out in 2012.
Yeah,
it
was a big deal because like Microsoft got first dibs on it, and everybody was like, "What the f-? Like, how does Microsoft get first dibs on the Weeb game?"
I know, of all things. Jesus. But yeah, it just came out not that long ago on PC, Yeah, it's on Steam. Jeez, yeah, it came out August 15th, 2020 on Steam. My gosh. The reviews are overwhelming. Wow, I'm actually might need to play this pretty soon.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it. I don't have. There's so many like MMOs and stuff that I do want to actually try to get into. I just don't have it. A lot of times I just don't have the energy or the time to really invest in an MMO unless I was going to be making like a bunch of content about it.
Content for it, yeah, to justify playing it. Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. Like the nerd in me has always wanted to jump in. Like, admittedly, as overplayed and cliche as it is, like the nerd in me has always wanted to like sink my teeth in the World of Warcraft or like Guild Wars or even like Lord of the Rings Online or Star Wars, Old Republic, Fantasy Star, like any one of those styles, or even like Black Desert, which has an amazing character creator tool on there. But I just don't have the mental capacity or the time to Oh, Mario, you silly plumber, you.
Oh, jump man.
But I just don't find myself having the mental capacity or the time to dedicate to playing it. And what's worse off, it's like a vicious cycle too, because like I wouldn't want to play those games alone. I would ideally want to have like a friend or two to be able to co-op that with, or like make a small guild or a team or something. But you know, this might just be like me talking out of my ass, but like I'm always worried I'm gonna get too invested in the game, because there's two games that I got super invested in back in like middle school and high school, and the first one was actually World of Warcraft. Like I played that very briefly in middle school, and I remember getting the free discs. You're gonna get it. Don't worry. I believe in you.
Yeah, no, I know. I panicked for a second because I couldn't remember where the spring fell. But go on.
But I remember getting the 15-day trial discs for World of Warcraft, and I remember playing that during middle school, and I just remember like getting a little too invested in the game, and I remember calling out of school like sick twice. Like, I remember calling out on a Friday, playing World of Warcraft all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then calling out Monday. And my dad got so pissed off and damn near broke the computer because he had anger issues like that. That man needed therapy. But I remember thinking to myself like, wow, this maybe could have been a real problem. And then the only other game that I was like ever heavily invested in, as silly as it sounds too, is a game called World War II Online. And I partially blame my history teacher in high school. I won't say his first name, but Mr. There we go. He was my history teacher, and he got into playing World War II Online. And I kind of thought to myself, like, oh, this seems kind of cool, like a big, like, 640 person MMO. You're in World War II, porn Europe, and I just remember like just the concept of being able to play with like a bunch of people online, and like being able to play with my friend who was my teacher at the time was so appealing and cool. And as much as I would love to be able to do that now, I'm a little worried that I'm gonna like lose myself to the game, or not have the time and patience to dedicate the amount of time an MMO would need. But like you said, if you were doing it to make content,
you might make the time.
Yeah, you'll make the time, because that's not just like a game. It's more than just a game now. Now it's like
it's more than just a game.
Revenue. More than just a game, Mom. My guild needs me. It's more than just a game. At that point, you're okay. I thought for a second you died. I'm like, hold on, no, you climbed that ladder. You got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, it's more than just a game. You have an ends, and you have an ends there, an end goal there. Yeah. You're collecting content for your viewers and this and that. And I feel like at that point, That's a little easier because you have you have extra incentive to play the game rather than just for the sake of playing a game. So
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
But
oh,
yeah,
it's the bonus. That's what it was. Sorry, I saw a bonus there, and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, what does that mean? It's actually your timer.
Yeah, I played Mario vs. Donkey Kong with Dr. Voodoo the other day, and one thing I need to correct myself on. I was right that there are 3 games in the series, about 3 games in the series, maybe 4 if I'm misremembering. But there was only 1 on Game Boy Advance. I thought there were 2 on Game Boy Advance. The other ones were all on the DS, but. Yeah, I like that game a lot just because it has a lot of fun movement mechanics. It's like a weird combination of Mario 64 movement like like gymnastics with and there he goes.
There we
I was
go.
trying to see if I could maybe move over to the ledge. I think I can do this now. But yeah, it has like Mario 64 gymnastics with some Mario 2 or Doki Doki Panic Doki Doki Mario mechanics where you jump on the enemies and pick them up and throw them. And then it has the classic like climb ladders and climb ropes that you see in the OG Donkey Kong series.
I remember playing I think one of the spin-off ones where you're dealing with like the little miniatures.
Oh, that might be March of the Minis.
March of the Minis, that's right. And then there was another one. I think was it like March of the Minis 2 or March of the Minis again?
Yeah, the whole plot.
I remember that one.
Yeah, the plot of the first game is that Donkey Kong is watching TV and he sees the Mario toys and he goes and they're all sold out because conveniently Nintendo's figurines are always sold out. You know what I mean? And so, so he just goes to the factory and steals them all, and Mario has to stop him. And so each level is you going and collecting the little toy, and then having to fight Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong, not Donkey Kong Jr.
Donkey Kong the third.
The third. So it's kind of like grandfather, like grandson. Okay, what am I? Oh crap! There's one more.
You got one more peg, yeah, on the top right.
I got it.
You got it, Mr. Krabs. Who needs structural integrity? That building was not up to OSHA OSHA standards.